Welcome back as we continue our conversation with Advocate Vuyani Ngalwana, and we are looking at a transformation within the legal fraternity in South Africa. And of course, he's raised the point very sharply earlier on in our discussion where he says he believes that some of his colleagues within the legal profession are actually not so friendly towards transformation within that sector. Now, Senior Counsel, please talk me through this. What are the instances that you have seen which convince you that the advocates within the legal fraternity in South Africa do not want to see an increasing number of black advocates entering the ranks?
Well, it's more than just numbers, Bro Tim, because you can have any number of black advocates entering the profession. What's important is at what rate do they grow within the profession? And that, in turn, requires quality briefs being given to those black counsel in order to grow their practices and grow their expertise, right? But just to take you back, there are numerous instances, and I'm not sure you've got sufficient time for me to go through them all.
Maybe one or two.
Let me approach the matter this way.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll give you an example. I mean, as chairman of the GCB, I did a study starting from 1993. I could have gone earlier. I only joined the bar in 1997 myself, but I went back to 1993 to look at what the attempts at transformation by the bar have been for the past 24 years. And I came to this conclusion. One, the bar is very good at holding meetings on transformation, taking resolutions, holding symposia, making statements of intent, and that's it. When it comes to actually doing something about it, in other words, by, for example, fostering an improved set of briefing patterns, especially in respect of black women, who are the ones who are at the lowest rung of the pecking order, the bar has done absolutely nothing. That's the one example. The second example, let me give you practical recent examples. You may have seen or may not have seen a report in the Nose Week of August this month, where white senior advocates, 3 of them, are accused of having overreached in a matter where they were instructed by some bank. The taxing master reduced their fee from something in excess of 4 million rand, having argued the case for maybe from 10 o'clock until tea time. Granted that there are papers that are prepared before that, and there's preparation for argument. So the matter is disposed of within an hour and a half, according to the report. The 3 senior white advocates, 2 males and 1 female, present fees upward of 4 million rand. The taxing master reduces that to something like 300 and something thousand rand. Now, in any language, that is overreaching. The respondent who has now to pay that fee lodges a complaint with the Bar Council. What does the Bar Council do? It says, no, there is no prima facie case to be investigated here. The complainant says, well, I want reasons for your decision. The bar says we don't give reasons for our decisions. Now, how is that accountable? Take that and you look at look at a black person, for example. Look at the case of Menzi Simelane, who was the former NDPP. And I know Menzi Simelane, he's not a friend of mine, I'm not a fan or I don't dislike him, he's just a colleague that I know. So I have no special interest in arguing his case for him. But I'm looking at the facts and looking at how the bar handles these matters.
Now,
he goes and gives evidence in a commission of inquiry that has nothing to do with him. He is there implicated for having misled the Ginwala Commission. A political party goes to court and said it's not fit and proper. The Constitutional Court, in my view, wrongly, but that's another matter, on the basis of what he said or didn't say in a commission of inquiry, he's found to have been improper, and then the Bar Council jumps on that and wants to get rid of him.
But now, let me interrupt you
Yet,
at this
there are
at this
three
time.
advocates.
Let me interrupt you at this time and then ask the question, because I've also followed your comments on social media, Twitter specifically, where you have concluded that you think there is a systematic way in which black professionals are dealt with within the legal profession and in other professions as well. Why do you feel so strongly that you believe the advancement of black professionals specifically are being impeded by their white colleagues? I mean, what is to be done, so to speak, about this?
The simple answer, well, I'll tell you what needs to be done, Tim, but to answer your question pointedly, the simple answer is, you asked why there seems to be this attack. The simple answer is, black lawyers are competition to the entrenched interests of white lawyers in general. And there is a provision in the Constitution called Section 217, subsection 2 of the Constitution, that talks about preferential procurement of services and goods. And there are a number of legislation that gives effect to that provision, to Section 217(3), and that is the Broad-Based Black Economic Empowerment Act, the Preferential Procurement, something, the PPPFA, and you get the various codes under the Act that does that. So government, and in all its permutations, have a constitutional duty to procure services, especially legal services, government being the biggest consumer of legal services, from those who are so-called previously disadvantaged. I don't believe in this previously thing, because we still are, to so-called previously disadvantaged individuals. Now, if government were doing that, there wouldn't be any complaint about briefing patterns still being skewed. So the existence of that, to answer the first question pointedly, the existence of that 217(2) of the Constitution, together with the various legislation that give effect to it, provides a threat to white counsel who doesn't belong in that group. Now, you asked me what needs to be done.
Yes.
It's quite simple, yes.
Now, go ahead.
What needs to be done, Jim, it's quite simply, yes, what needs to be done is quite simply a complete overhaul of the bar structures as we have them currently. I used to believe that the Bar Council, or the bar as we currently have it, is capable of transforming and transforming itself. I am now absolutely convinced that that is not possible, because of what I have seen myself happening, some of the examples of which I've just given you. I believe there needs to be a completely new organization to rise up and start completely afresh, without the burdens of, or the baggage of the existing Bar Council.
Now, let me ask you this question now, because you did speak about the media, and we've got about a minute and a half or so to go. So, brief response from you. You seem to be concerned about the way the media is covering legal matters in the country. Just briefly tell me what your concerns are, and then what you think the media can and should be doing to improve its coverage in that regard.
Very simply, the media knows what it needs to do, Ratim. And I'm not one to have to pontificate and tell it what not to do, but to remind it. It needs to cover legal matters from a perspective of knowledge. Firstly, they have to inform themselves of what the issues are. In order to inform yourself what the issues are, you need to understand what the facts are and report objectively. Make it clear when you are offering an opinion as regards reporting on a story. On many occasions, there is a very thin line, if any line at all, when we read, certainly when I read reports in the media about a particular case. You already see that the journalist is leaning in one particular way about this, and then when the court reaches a contrary decision to what was preconceived by the reporter, then the attack is suddenly on the judges, and the courts, and on the legal system, and you have some innuendo floating around that the legal system is captured.
Sure.
That is what the media needs to be careful about.
Well, Senior Counsel Vuyani Ngalwana, thank you very much for talking to us and sharing your thoughts pointedly, transparently, openly, and we appreciate the time and the chat with you. Thank you. In a moment, I will be taking a look at the state of South Africa from the point of view of Stats SA. I'll be having a chat with Statistician General Risenga Maluleka.